Hello there guys, you're listening to Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. I hope everyone's doing well. We've got a lot to get into, so let's get straight on. This cold is still hanging around like a bad smell. So again, apologies for my voice. So yes, of course, it's another review from this week's 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After. And I'm broadcasting live from Pissy Palace. And this evening we'll be assessing how successful the evening was in Kalani Asuelu's Night of Passion. Just before we begin, if you're new here, welcome. And if you've been here before and you haven't yet subscribed, consider pressing the red button. It would make me eternally grateful. This is a public service announcement from Ebird. Thank you. Oh yeah, and also smash the like button, a bit like this. So without further ado, I give you Kalani and Asuelu. So we first see these two, and it's the morning after the night before, the great night of passion. Kalani told Asuelu she wanted a dirty weekend. Dirty floors, dirty bed linen, dirty surfaces. It was a dirty hovel. But by the look on Asuelu's face, zero fucks were given. No, I'm joking. Things seemed to go okay at Pissy Palace, because according to Asuelu, he satisfied his wife, and then he went to sleep. And Kalani said to Asuelu, "Did you sleep well?" And he said, "Yeah, fine." And she said, "I didn't." And he said, "Why? What happened?" And she explained to him that during the night she'd had to get up not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 times to go and see to the kids. Apparently Oliver wouldn't sleep. And it's all Asuelu's fault, as Kalani told him, because you were the one who wanted my mum to have a cabin really far away from us so she wouldn't hear anything. Well, that meant that I had to walk all the way down the hill for miles every time she called. It really screwed me over. Well, it's just as well, Kalani, because it doesn't sound like Asuelu did. But Kalani just won't stop banging on about what an awful night she had, going back and forth to see the kids. Oh Lord, fetch me the fainting couch. Kalani's unhappy. What a turn up for the books that is. Kalani, when Asuelu said he wanted to make you moan, he didn't mean on and on and on like this, but she just won't stop. Kalani, it's all your own fault. Firstly, you wanted to bring the kids in the first instance. You should have just gone away for one evening and left them with your parents. It's not as if they're newborns. And secondly, you're blaming Asuelu because the cabin was miles away from your cabin. You stood next to him when he booked that cabin. And you stood next to him when he said, "My mother-in-law doesn't want to hear." You said nothing at that point, and now you're saying it's all his fault. Make this make sense. Thirdly, you decided to wake up 5 times and actually go to see to Oliver. You could have said to your mum, "Well, he has milk, you're with him, he's going to have to do without me for a night. I'm going to leave it." Or even after the first or second time, "I'm going to leave it." Here's what I think Oliver knew. Oliver knew that if he cried enough, your mum would ring you and you would walk down the road and go and see him again. So of course he kept on crying, and of course he kept on refusing to settle. And it's slightly worrying when you consider that men know how to get what they want, even at the age of 2. And finally, you were the one who demanded Asuelu book a romantic weekend away for you, and you didn't tell him that you were going to be a party of 5. Why didn't you just wait 6 more months until the boys could have been left with your parents? Why did you moan on and on about him doing it right now? And all poor Asuelu could do was all he ever does these days, and that's apologise forlornly with his little hand-dog face. Poor Asuelu, he can't do right for doing wrong. But never mind, Kalani, forget the past, let's look to the future. They've got an amazing day planned. What are they going to be doing? They're going to see some horses, and then they're going to see some rocks. Yes guys, I know I'm a Philistine, but it all seems extremely boring to me. But anyway, they get into some sort of, I don't know, Land Rover or Jeep or something, and they drive out to the cliff edge. And I have to say the view was absolutely magnificent. And finally we saw just a soupçon of gratitude from Kalani. And she said, "Thank you for organising this for me." And it was unenthusiastic, to say the very least. And as they were sitting at the mountain edge, everything was serene and peaceful. Everything seemed great in their relationship. They both agreed that their communication had got better. And so, of course, now seems exactly the right time for Kalani to drop a bombshell. And she told Asuelu that she went to see a lawyer to talk to him about divorce and Asuelu's immigration status. And Asuelu said, "Wow, I feel really betrayed. It's not okay. I feel angry." Asuelu, I'm going to have to get you to act your lines with a little bit more, how can we say, vim, a little bit more va-va-voom. We're not really catching it here. You seem like you, either 1, don't really care, or 2, you knew all along. And I think again it's another case of lights, camera, bullshit. We all know what Asuelu's angry face is like. It's just like his mum's angry face, without the sense of unbelievable entitlement. And the truth be told, Asuelu knew from low that Kalani was thinking about divorcing him, and that she wanted to jettison him back to Samoa as quickly and efficiently as possible. And so I don't really know what the big deal is. I'd also remember last week when they were talking to production about the terrible fender bender that he was involved in. And then she said, I was thinking it was going to be the end, divorce, but then I was thinking I'm going to be without him. And I just don't want that. So he knew good and well that it was on the rocks. And now he's managed to pull it back from the precipice. And so all of this to me is just, I don't know, acting for the cameras. He walked off and then he walked back and then they both hugged and Kalani gave a fake cry. Yes, that's right, it was definitely a fake cry. Kalani wears so much black eyeliner, there's no way it wouldn't have smudged. Eye makeup never lies. And then Asuelu said to Kalani, I don't want a divorce and I don't want to move out. I just want to be with you forever. Not possible. I give you about, 2 years, but anyway. They then say that they want to get rid of all their problems, and they talk about those problems very briefly, and then they somehow transfer the problems to a pile of rocks. And then they throw the rocks onto unsuspecting people down below. We don't know who was injured, probably somebody. Affidavits in the post. And Kalani says, anything that's bad or negative is in these rocks, and we're throwing it away. Oh my god, you guys are completely ridiculous. Kalani, if you were as learned as you would have us believe, and if you were as in touch with great communication skills as you would have us believe, you would have at least, 1, talked over your problems, specifically what all of your problems are, or 2, better still, written down your problems. In order to throw problems away, they need to be identified, acknowledged, assessed, and then potentially thrown away. How do you know which problems you're throwing away and which ones you're going to keep back in your back pocket to bring up again and again and to throw in someone's face every time you have an argument? This is the biggest crock of crap I think I've seen. And it's just as well, because that's where we end things for this week. So what does the Ebird make from all of this? Well, I think Kalani will never stop moaning. I've come to the conclusion that she's just a negative Nancy and she wants everything to go badly. She takes zero responsibility for her own actions. You brought your kids. When you brought them, why did you bring them? Because you knew they might need you. If you knew they might have needed you, why when you went to them then did you seek to blame all of that onto Asuelu? You didn't like Pissy Palace. You wanted a romantic weekend, but nor did you give Asuelu any great hints as to what you would like. And people do keep getting in my comments and saying, this whole storyline's fake. The whole storyline cannot be fake, because Kalani's had 2 kids with him. They exist, they're real, thus it can't all be fake. However, I do think that Asuelu's reaction when Kalani said about seeing a lawyer was just not the reaction of the Asuelu that we all know and love. A grown-up crack baby with Tourette's that storms off like a 2-year-old. And then finally, another comment that I see really often is that Asuelu's a child. Asuelu needs to grow up. Asuelu's 25 and a very young 25 at that. Kalani, if you'd have wanted an adult, a man, you should have married someone that was similar to your age. If somebody's 8 years younger than you, the chances are they're going to be more childish than you. In addition to this, he doesn't understand the customs and the ways of people in America, and you kind of expect him to understand that immediately. Last week she said, I don't know what his idea of romance is. Well, think about where he's from. Do they go to Las Vegas when they're in Samoa? I doubt it. It's not going to be the same idea of romance that yours is. He did the very best he could, and that was shit, and on that we can all agree. However, Kalani, you picked him, so now you deal with it. And whilst you're dealing with it, try avoiding bringing the rest of Utah into your arguments. And that's everything for this week, guys. So let me know what you think. Do we think that Asuelu's putting on for the cameras? I kind of think so. And are we completely bored by yet even more moaning from Kalani about the dirty, filthy weekend at Pissy Palace? Do you think, like I do, that she should have just made the best of it? I really do. So let me know what you think in comments down below, and I'll be back very soon with another video. Guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe and all of that good stuff. And I'll see you very soon. And if you get the chance, smash the like button on the way out. You've been listening to Ebird Online, and I bid you good day.